I've zoomed in on Norwich because it's quite a good example of a town that has a lot of charity shops, a bunch of boot sales, and even a pending yard sale event. So if you click the red favourite, these are all places that I have chosen to put in my favourites. There's an event, that's the one we just looked at up near Norwich. Hello and welcome to the video. What I wanted to do today was talk about the app we are developing. I get a lot of questions about it. We also get a lot of new subscribers all the time, and I'm very aware that a lot of people don't know what's going on with this app, what this app is, what it's going to be for, why we're building an app. There's a lot of questions, so I thought I would put all of those questions and answers in one video, and yeah, that's the plan anyway. So it's going to be the why, the what, and the when, and everything in between about the app that we are developing. So the first question is why? Why are you creating an app? If we go back to the beginning, the initial problem that we wanted to solve was that I felt there needed to be a place where people could share events, like yard sale events, jumble trails, whatever you want to call them, that sort of thing. Because we would constantly get questions, and we still do, from viewers saying, how do you find out about these events you're always going to? You seem to be finding them every weekend and going to these really cool yard sale things. How do you find them? And there's no easy answer to that. And there's no place, no centralized place where people can share that they are going on. Very often they are organized locally and only promoted very locally, and they're hard to find out about. So that was the initial kernel of the idea. Let's create a space where people can share events where secondhand goods are being bought and sold. That's what started it. It has become something way bigger than that, but that was the why. To create a useful and helpful place, an app. It developed into being an app on everyone's mobile phone is the dream. Yeah, where you can find this information, and importantly, you can also share this information with others. So that was the initial thought. That was the starting point. If we then move on to what is it? What has it become? What it is now is an app which currently is on Android, and we are working on the Apple version. I'll get into that in a minute. It's an app that shares locations and events where secondhand goods are being bought and sold. We quickly moved on from just having a place where you could share yard sale events, etc., to something much more. We went down the route of it being a map-based app, so it's very visual, and you can search in your area, you can zoom around the map and see what's going on. We quickly thought, well, if we're going to create this interactive map, we may as well pin boot sale locations on it. We started looking into that, and we found that accurate information about boot sales, their locations, their opening times, their phone numbers for information, it's like the Wild West of information out there. Boot sales will sometimes have a Facebook page that isn't always updated. Sometimes they have a website, sometimes they contradict. There's also several websites that try and collate this information. They are very often out of date, and there's just a wash of information that quite often is very unhelpful. So the more we looked into that, we thought there's a real need for an accurate, updatable source of information on boot sales. Like I say, when they're open, where they are, their season, when they start, when they finish, all of that in one place on an interactive map. That would be great. So it was like, let's do that. We then took it a huge step further and decided to do the same for charity shops. So now what it is a UK-wide, currently it's only UK, so England, Scotland, Wales and Northern Ireland. And we now have, it's around 8,000 or 9,000 permanent locations. So that's charity shops and car boot sales. with all of their relative information all pinned on this interactive map, all editable by the users. You can also add a boot sale if you find that one's missing. You can add charity shops, you can report information that's out of date and update that very, very easily. That's what it's become. That's what it is now. So that gives you the why and the what is it. The next big question, and the one we get asked the most, is when. When can I get hold of this? When can I use this? When's it going to launch? So currently we have a version finished on Android, and I will show you that in a minute. But we are doing it for both platforms. In the mobile phone world, you have Android and you have Apple, and they are on different systems, so you have to do two different apps basically. We have had a few hundred people on the version 1 Android version for a while now. We've been finding problems, we've been fixing problems, and we've been ironing out all the issues on that. But we have a finished version 1 on Android. We are now working towards getting the equivalent onto Apple. I don't see there being any point in starting to promote this and market this to the wider general public until we have it on both. You know, I don't want to start spending a lot of time, effort and money, you know, shouting about it from the rooftops if all Apple users can't get hold of it. So we made the decision that we are going to wait until we do a wider public launch until we have both. And it's like everything with this, it's taken a lot longer than we expected. Now we're past this season, we're rapidly heading into autumn and then into winter. So the launch is likely, the main launch, once we've got Apple finished as well, is likely to be at the start of the next boot sale season. So we're looking at next spring. I am very aware every time I have talked about a launch point, we have missed it. And I don't want to keep letting people down. So for quite a long time, I've not talked about a launch date. But now we have an Android version that is working. It's got hundreds of people, you know, messing about on it, testing all the different functionality, and it exists. It's a finished thing that I can show you in a minute. I'm confident that we will get there. It's just a case of working as hard as we can, as quickly as possible to get the Apple finished and available. So I touched on there about the length of time this has taken, and we do get asked a lot, why is this taking so long? There are a few reasons behind that. One is, hands up, all of us, myself and Andrea and our business partner that we are working on this with, underestimated how long it was going to take, massively. We are also all very busy people doing this in our spare time. And yeah, when you add in the fact that it rapidly became a huge project, this has all conspired to mean instead of it taking this long, it's taken way, way, way longer. We've all been learning on the job. I've never designed a tech project like this before. Never had anything to do with trying to manage creating an app. So I've been learning on the job. My business partner, who is the technical coding side of it, although he has vast experience, he's also been learning on the job. We've come up against so many problems every step of the way that we've had to find solutions for. And it's just been a case of, 2 steps forward, 3 steps back, very long process. So that in a nutshell is why it's taken so long. Plus, with hindsight is a wonderful thing. We could and maybe should have done this very differently. Launched a very basic version and then kept adding functionality on. So we could have had a product finished and out on both a long time ago and then added layers. So maybe started with just something where you could share yard sale events and then add on the boot sales and add on the charities and add on the different functionality as we go. Because initially we thought it would only take us this amount of time, we said, well, let's just go for it. We'll build all of this stuff and launch it. We also suffered from a term which I have become very familiar with during this project, and that is scope creep, which is something, essentially it means you keep adding functionality in. Wouldn't it be good if we could do this? Wouldn't it be good if we added that function? Wouldn't it be good if it did this on top of that? At some point in this process, I realized I needed to be taking stuff out and simplifying. So we've done a lot of that. We've done a lot of unstitching, unpacking what we've done to make it simpler and doable. Right, I just wanted to answer some specific questions we get quite often about the app, and then we'll go in and I'll show you it working. First one, how much does it cost? The app itself is free to download, and we are planning to keep it that way. The main reason for that is that I believe a huge percentage of our potential users will be very casual, as in they might only use it once that year to go to a local yard sale event and see all of the pins and navigate around it using the app. And if we were charging to buy the app, you imagine turning up at your local yard sale event and the organizer saying, just scan this QR code and download this app. And you do that and it says £5, please. You'll go, no way. And right. So for casual users, it needs to be free to download. We don't want to alienate a huge amount of our potential audience by charging to download it. And when you think about it, the average user, those are the ones we really want on there, that are going to maybe have a yard sale outside the house or organise a local village event. And it's a game of numbers. We want as many people on it as possible, sharing information, correcting information, crawling all over the map, looking at all of the detail and making this an accurate source of information. We need as many users as possible. So yes, it is going to be free. It has to earn money to pay for itself. So there will be adverts running on it. The version we have out at the moment on Android that people are on, testing version 1, it doesn't currently have any ads running, but it will do, so it can support itself. I've been asked a lot about jumble sales. Can you find and can you share jumble sales on the app? The simple answer is yes. At the moment, as we have it in version 1, it's very focused towards yard sales, but you can pin a jumble sale as if it's a yard sale and just call it the Norwich Scouts jumble sale or whatever it is and pin it at the location. So yes, you can, but the wording is very focused on yard sales. Version 2, which is going to come at some point after launch, will make all of that a lot easier with different types of events with drop-down menus. That's all planned, but going back to the scope creep thing, I'm not changing anything now. We need to get this out, get it in people's hands, and then we launch version 2 once that's all done. Because if we keep changing and keep adding, we will never launch. It's already taken way too long. But in answer to can you share jumble sales? Yes, you can. As it exists now, you just kind of have to use what's there. Use the tools that are there, but yes, you can. Next, can I mark a stall as visited at a yard sale event? 100% yes. In fact, this was one of the first problems that we encounter when we go to yard sale events and somebody's made a map within Google Maps. You can't interact with the pins, right? So you can't say I visited that one and grey them out or remove them or whatever. And you get very confused very quickly with where you've been and where you haven't been. So this was one of the problems we wanted to solve, and we have that. So if you go to a yard sale on the app, you will see all of the stalls, all these pins, pinned accurately on the map where they are. Once you've been to one, you can touch the pin, you can flag it if you want to come back to it for any reason. You can mark it as visited and it will be greyed out. So as you work your way through an event, you can grey out all of the pins as you go. So 100% yes. Will the app take me to a location? Yes, we have made it so any pin on the map, you can touch on it and there will be a take me there button, and it will then generate you a route and it will navigate you to it. Can I have my own single yard sale on the app? Yes, you create an event. You create it as private so other people can't join your event. You add your stall at your location and that's it. It will appear on the map with just one stall, a single yard sale. Yes. Okay, let's just show you it working. Right, I've zoomed in on Norwich because it's quite a good example of a town that has a lot of charity shops, a bunch of boot sales, and even a pending yard sale event. So you can change the view. So currently it's on a map view. If you click the view button down here, you can change it to satellite. And then if we zoom in, this is a street in Norwich, for example. And the accuracy of these pins is something we pride ourselves on. So there's a charity shop there, and every one of these pins is interactive. Can't even say the word. So if I click on that pin, that is a Big C cancer charity. So in here you can favorite that. It will then go into your favorites feed, so you can come back and find it easily. So for whatever reason you want to favorite that location so you can find it easily, you can. You can flag it. If you're out for the day in Norwich and you want to come back to that place, or you want to flag it for any reason, you can. So then the pin on the map, on your map, is a flag. You can use that functionality. You can also mark charity shops as visited if you want to. So maybe you're going to go around the town for a whole day and you want to visit all the charity shops, you can mark them as visited as you go. That was functionality we programmed for yard sales, really, where you're going around maybe 100 stalls in a day and you want to mark them as you go. We added it for all pins, so if you want to mark it as visited, fine. There's the take me there button. So if we click take me there, you can see from my current location, it has created me a route and it's going to take me all the way up to Norwich and to the charity shop. You can do that for any pin within the app. If you're at a yard sale event in a town and you don't know your way around and you just want to go from yard sale stall to the next, yes, absolutely. So as I was saying earlier, on all permanent pins, you can go into more information and you can mark it as not existing. You can report that a charity shop has closed down, a boot sale isn't running anymore, whatever it is. All of that is moderated, so you can't just go onto the app and remove hundreds of pins because you feel like it. It is moderated. You can click the update this info button and you can update the phone number if that's wrong, the opening times if that has changed, etc, etc. You can reposition the pin if it has been pinned incorrectly. If we go back to the main map, you can see at the top there we have currently 3 different colours of pins. Let's just go back to Norwich where we had all of those different coloured pins. So if you are just looking for boot sales, you can switch off charities and events and it leaves you the boot sales we currently have in Norwich. Again, all interactive pins. So you click on one and it will bring up all of its information. Go into more info here and you'll get hopefully everything you need. A link to the Facebook group, their phone number for information, their opening times, fee structure to sell there. Everything that we think you would need should be within there. Again, updatable by the users, etc. We can add back in the charities, and if I click there, there's a loan event happening down here. So that's awesome. So this is Blowfield Heath Village Garage Sale event, which is up and coming. And because that's a time specific event, once the event has been and gone, it's over, it will automatically disappear off the map. So I talked about favoriting a pin before. The second icon across the bottom here is your feed. The automatic view is every pin on the map is shown and you can scroll through them, and this is based on your location. So the nearest pin to you, most of these are charities because that's what most pins are on the map, but you can change this. So if you click the red favorite, these are all places that I have chosen to put in my favorites. There's an event, that's the one we just looked at up near Norwich, and you can click on here and go and look at it on the map, etc. You can unfavorite it from here, etc. But that's a really handy way. So your local boot sales, if you wanted to put all of your local ones in here, you can then open the app, there they are straight away, click on it and phone them up and check if they're on. You can check all of the relevant information, etc. You can do the same with charity shops, and of course, like I said, events. So that's favorites, and you can narrow this down to events. If you just want to scroll through all the events that are available, it will list them nearest to you first. So there's the one with the heart that we looked at, which is quite local to me, and then you'll scroll down and you'll see everything else on the map, and as you look at them you can just heart them, so you can come back to them at a later date and take a closer look at them. If I select just charities there, boot sales again, so these are all boot sales. Look, there's one that I've favorited because they're near me. Right, so this is all the boot sales on the app nearest to me going outwards. So let's say you went away on holiday and you're in a new location to you and you don't know what's available. The app will know where you are and it will order this based on where you are. So all you need to do is open up your feed and then search for boot sales, just have boot sales on, and it will show you what's nearest to you. You can click through them onto the map. You can just browse around on the map. If you find it easier to see it visually on a map, just open the map, it'll know where you are already, and you'll be able to look around your local area, see the pins, click on them, find their opening times, find their phone numbers, ring them up to check they're on, whatever you want to do. And you can do the same for charities. You can also search on here, so maybe you're going away for the weekend to the coast or something. You could search the town in advance, see how many charity shops are, see if there's a boot sale running, check the opening times. Oh my goodness, it's so useful to have it all in one place. And then of course with the favorites, you can put your favorite locations in your favorites. It's so much fun. So yeah, that's it in a nutshell. There is a lot more functionality, but that shows you it running. It shows you what it can do. It shows you how useful this thing can be. So here we are again in the map. Look how many locations there are. I prefer the satellite view. Bloop, there we go. And if we zoom in, you can come right down to street level. And if I was there, there would be a little blue pin, that would be me. We went to the coast for Andrea's birthday. We went up to Southwold and I did a bit of a test. I took the app with me. We'd not been charity shopping in Southwold before, and we parked and we walked into town. And using the app, I found every charity shop in the town. They were all on there. They were all pinned in the right place and all the information was correct. And I was chuffed to bits. I was filming on the day, so that vlog hopefully will come out soon and you'll be able to see me out and about using the app exactly like this. And you'll see the little blue pin that was me as I wandered around and found the shops. Anyway, I think I'm going to end that here. You probably have more questions. Feel free to put them below in the comments section and I will try and answer them as and when I can. Yeah, thank you very much for watching. I'm genuinely excited about this. It's been a huge labour of love. It's taken a long time, yes, but we are so pleased with what we've achieved. I know it's useful for me and therefore it will be useful for many other people. Whether you just want a convenient way of finding car boot sale information, whether you want a convenient way to create and share a yard sale event, whatever it is you want to use this for, yeah, hopefully it will give you something helpful. Thank you so much for watching. I'll share another one of my videos up here for you, so please check this one out. Take care. I'll see you soon. Bye.